Jonathan, I was thinking about this, how, the original Jesus movement, which Jesus Revolution is based on, it occurred, in the late 1960s, but there was sort of this outpouring at Asbury University then. And now as this movie is coming out,
that's right.
And that's sort of what started the Jesus movement. Now this movie's coming out, there's been an outpouring of God's presence at Asbury University. And I know this is very exciting for those of us who are people of faith. What do you think God is wanting to do for this generation?
I think he's wanting to see his influence and his reach come back into the culture. I feel like the last several decades, we've seen God slowly stripped away from, public consumption and public culture, and certainly media culture and media interest in stories about God, stories of faith, that are told with any sort of semblance of truth and authenticity. So I think this is his way of saying, I'm still here, and let's do what we did 50 years ago. And I think people are hungry for this. There's been such a dark cloud over the world in general, that, for many years now, and with everything that's, and all the tragedies that have been happening, natural disasters and otherwise. And I really feel like, this is a signal that, like, we're not alone. God is in our midst. And I think the sooner and the more intensely we can connect or reconnect to him, the easier it's going to be to get through the trials that we're experiencing now as a society.
I believe that to be so true, and I'm so excited to see what God is doing in the world, right now. When I think about your movie, Jesus Revolution, you see this disconnect between some of the current leaders in the churches there, right? Well, Pastor Chuck, but some of those people in the church, they're disconnected from what God could be doing in that next generation. And one thing I talk about a lot here at 100 Huntley Street is that we need to have eyes to see and an imagination for what God could really be doing. How do you think we can foster that imagination for what God could be doing in this season of the world?
I think it starts with, the opening of our hearts, the repentance of ourselves to God, and recognizing the things that we can do better, where we've fallen short, how we've fallen away from what it means to love God and love our neighbor as ourselves, and to forgive each other for all of the wrongs that we have done over time, publicly, privately, whatever it is. I think it starts with a repentant heart and an openness and a willingness to want to concede our will to God's will. And by doing that, then we become pliable and an instrument that God can use to bring forth peace and justice and compassion more generously in our society.